The wood turtle is a turtle that we're more concerned about than many of the more aquatic species. And we're concerned because it feeds almost entirely on land. And the more time any of a species like that spends on land, the more likely it is to get hit by some form of equipment, either a car traveling on a road or perhaps farm equipment or logging equipment. The wood turtle is also a species that unfortunately is collected and sold, even though it's illegal to do that. So because it wanders around on land, we run into it more often and are more able to catch it than we would the other species. The wood turtle is not all that large, perhaps 8-9 inches long. It has either red, yellow, or orange flesh, a black head, and each scoot of the shell, and scoot, that's a scale plate, each scoot has a stack of smaller and smaller and smaller scoots on top of it, and it's a stack of scoots glued together. And so the turtle itself has a bumpy shell as opposed to a smooth shell. It has teeth on the posterior margin. The rear margin of the back shell is rough rather than smooth. And conservation concerns are maintaining much larger areas than would be necessary for some of the other turtle species because it needs to wander up and down the streams where it overwinters. Unlike the other turtles, this is primarily a stream turtle. It may wander 1,000 feet or more from those streams to feed, but it needs to get back to those streams and overwinter. It also is a species which lives a long time, 40, 50 years or more, and it may be 14 or 15 years before it is old enough to reproduce. Like most long-lived reptiles, the strategies for survival is not to produce very many young in any one year, but to live a long, long time and produce a very few young each year. And so eventually you replace yourself and keep the population going. In this kind of a population, if you lose just one or two of the adults in a year, a population over time may well disappear, as opposed to something, let's say, like a wood frog that lays thousands of eggs every year, but doesn't live very long. So conservation concerns, we often have put roads right along these river valleys, so roads are very much a concern. How we manage lands near streams, are they managed and cut regularly by equipment, so the equipment can be a threat? And illegal collection is a big threat to this species.